guys, Tomboy601, and today we are in Schröder, and we have a bit of a weird game for you, and one I think that you will probably enjoy. Now, like I said in my Schröder video, a lot of times Schröder needs the correct circumstances to sing. And well, we definitely have them here. We're in fact actually testing out a new build. I believe we recommended a Zerlane Bismarck last time we're out. However, with the Star Trek collaboration, we got Gorok. He has a unique skill. His base trait reduces damage to your cruiser by up to, I think it's like 12% if you have him fully maxed out when your secondary guns are firing, which is interesting. Well, if you combine that with a Zerlane Bismarck, who also has a skill along those lines, where incoming damage from projectiles while second battery is aiming or shooting is 6% as well, or up to 8%, which means when combined on Schröder, you can get up to minus 20% damage while your secondary batteries are shooting. It's pretty useful. And of course, we've kind of built Schröder around secondaries, as you do, given its large pen angles. So at 10 kilometers, if we have an enemy ship spotted, we are going to take, in our current build, minus 15% actual damage. Which is pretty great. We didn't fully upgrade. So with that said, let's dive on into the match. And of course, we are out here on the seaside of Northern Waters. And this is one of those sides that Schröder enjoys, because it has all these islands that it can use to help control the engagements that it's taking. Carnot has already taken a good chunk of damage from us. He's gone behind the island. Excellent. Now we have two battleships we have to worry about. Carl Johan and this Zerlane, New Jersey. What I want to do now is sort of position the ship so that it's hard for the New Jersey to hit us. We went ahead and popped our sonar because, of course, Johan does have a large spread of torpedoes, and it would make sense if he fired them at us. So we're going to go ahead and just turn and dodge out of the way. Once again, making it so that only Johan right now can really engage us, and he is otherwise engaged with the Republic that is out on our side. And this is going to give us just plenty of time to go ahead and farm this Carl Johan for damage. He is going to take several torpedoes, which are really going to help out with that damage. And, well, he is not long for this world, though I am still trying to be a little bit cautious because I don't know what the Carnot is going to do. But Johan is down. New Jersey does still have a good sight line on us, and I'm just sort of wondering when this Carnot is going to pop out, because if I was the Carnot, I might have tried to load AP, come out around the corner, and blap my very vulnerable side. He didn't do that, and that's okay. This New Jersey is starting to back up, and we're getting some pretty okay hits on him. We're not melting him, but we are able to, our secondaries are able to kind of lob over, and we're just getting free damage, which we will absolutely take. Our sonar is still active. We're going to go ahead and pick up Carnot here. And, well, New Jersey is now allowing us to do something that could be really fun. We know Carnot is snug up against this island. We know Carnot doesn't have, well, he has one rear gun. His main guns are out on the front. So what would happen if this New Jersey was no longer covering the Carnot's rear? Could we take a Schröder directly behind the Carnot? Yeah, we can. So that's going to be the plan now. New Jersey has hit himself on the other side of this island, giving us this beautiful gap that we can go ahead and sail down the middle of. And I feel like this is one of the first times I've ever done it. Now, this does show off, I think, one of Schröder's weak points, of course, is the lack of torpedoes. Carnot doesn't have torpedoes, so we didn't have to worry about that. But if Schröder had torpedoes, this would be a very different engagement. But because it doesn't, Carnot is right there. He's going to go ahead and fire. We're turning in to try. He has HE loaded, which is good for us. We're going to go ahead and fire our AP. Schröder's AP, not exactly the most performative, but this is going to allow us to swing around to the other side. Only the rear gun on Carnot is going to be able to track us. We're We're going to aim up into the superstructure just to try to get whatever hits we can up in there. We get another beautiful and devastating hit, double fire. We should extinguish that shortly. There we go. Of course, with our build, we do have fight fire with fire. So the using the damage con to suss out the fires is relatively okay. We do end up running around here and sadly miss out on the kill of the Carnot, which feels a little degrading after all of what we went through there, but we do now have 216 secondary hits, and we have a Baltimore now pushing into us, because if we check the map, our team has done a fairly decent job overall at getting map control. It doesn't look like that initially just because we don't have any capture points, but if we look, the other side hasn't done too well, but they're still alive and kicking. And we have pretty much totally cleared out this side, other than the Baltimore. And the Baltimore is sort of the last one left from the mid spawn of his team, right? We've totally taken out our same side, this right side. And really, as far as ships left on the field, it's only going to be those battleships and the carrier off on the other side. So we're doing pretty good as far as ship counts go. We're going to go ahead and let off some salvos right here, and we get our first kill of the match with the Schröder's AP, and we're going to swing in to C just to get that glorious, glorious XP. And at this point, the thought is, okay, how do we want to play this? Because we're doing pretty well, right? So we can go afford to throw things away. We've done, as far as our damage goes, getting our taking damage, we've done a pretty good job of mitigating it, even with our damage reduction build, which is just sort of weird. So we're just gonna kind of push straight in. We do have the ship advantage at the moment. Both carriers are still up, so that is something we do need to be worried about. But because it's now this late game and we do have such the ship number advantage, we are going to be able to sort of concentrate our AA and negate any of the advantage that being able to throw all those planes at us. Because if we kind of cluster up, we are going to be at a point where we're not really going to be able to let anything through. So we're just going to go ahead and push in. Our DD is already sort of torping out the Alabama that is out there. We do have a Nebraska with us, and I believe a Peter Bagration. The only thing, like I said, we really need to worry about is going to be that carrier and where he's going to be. At this point in the match, given where everything is, he's either going to be up by that top left island, which is where I feel like he's hung out most of the match, or moving his way down into a sort of more central position with his other two ships, just to try and negate any threats from his backline, if he's paying attention. Because, you know, half the time carrier players, they just leave it in park and just play. And you know what? Good for them. I'm happy that that's how they want to play the game. But that feels like how they end up playing half the time. Anyways, we do now see we have a Delaware on very low health and an Alabama. I'm waiting on our secondaries to sort of open up, but this Delaware starts to turn out, and I was like, okay, this is our moment to try to get some hits into the Delaware. We don't exactly have the best guns, so we kind of need a broadside ship in order for our AP to do anything, because the Schröder's AP is absolute garbage. I remember, I forget, I was playing with it the other day, and I forget what I was shooting into, and it wasn't exactly the most sturdy battleship, and it was flat broadside, and I was getting shatters on its belt, and I was like, we really can't pen very much if we can't pen the broadside of a battleship in a cruiser. But hey, it is what it is. Our secondaries starting to tear up the Alabama there. We throw it in full reverse in the hopes of getting more shots on target. And of course, the Schröder's secondaries are nasty. If I recall correctly, they have 30 or 32 millimeters of pen, so they get just massive amounts of damage on pretty much anything it comes into contact with. Of course, the struggle with Schröder is keeping those secondary batteries alive, and I'm pretty sure that the build that we have right now helps us with that a little, because each of the armaments has its own HP pool. though it's affected by splash damage, so I'm not 100% sure if it gets affected by it, but I believe that with our build and the damage mitigation, we do basically get to stretch the life of our secondaries out a little bit longer, which is very key because the majority of Schröder's offensive ability comes from the secondary. So being able to keep them alive throughout an entire game is incredibly, incredibly important. And well, that is kind of what we are doing here. Of course, we do have one last ship. We're hunting down the carrier, and we'd have to just push through A to do it. So we will happily go ahead and do that. Take the XP and also try to cut the Lexington off at the pass. He does go behind this island before we're able to get a shot off, but secretly, I'm okay with that because that means we can go ahead and push in a little bit further and try to get our secondaries to do just that little bit more damage onto the Lexington. Now, we could have probably done with the engine boost. That is the option to switch out between enhanced secondary target and the engine boost. But given the focus of Schröder in its secondaries, I do think that the enhanced secondary targeting is probably going to be the more effective. Though the engine boost is surprisingly good, especially because it allows Schröder to sort of position early game into some surprising positions, allow you to get behind islands. Maybe people won't see you get in those positions, and you're able to sort of hide behind the island and kind of spring out when they wouldn't expect you. But it's still all pretty good as Lexington takes the final rounds, our secondaries going out, and we do end up picking up the Confederate. I can't remember if that was this kill or the last one, but we pick up the Confederate. Sadly, no secondary kills in that game, but hey, it is what it is. Like I said, it's a bit of a weird game, but I wanted to show it off just because the build is fun. Ended up with nearly 3,000 XP. Guys, if you like videos like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.